Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can get input from the user. Alright, in Python we use a function that we call the input function. Okay, so whatever you want to get from the user, you want to store it in a variable, right? You want to store it in some container. So the way we use this input function in Python, we actually assign this input function to a variable. Let's say I need a name from the user. I will have to write name as the variable. Because my variable is descriptive, I know that this container contains the name, right? And then input, and then over here I can pass in the statement, okay, that will prompt the user to enter the correct information. So I can say enter your name, just like that. All right, and then the way we do it, if we want to leave a space here for the cursor when the user is inputting their information, we have to space here like I did here. You will see, okay, we have to leave a space. I will show you, okay. So after then, perhaps we might want to print the name to prove that this input has been stored in the name variable. So if I save this, I'm going to run this in Git terminal. This is the Git terminal, and so I already have the path to this file here, which is called vampire.py. It's actually in a folder called game. I'm already in that folder, so I'm gonna, when you want to run in Git terminal, you just write in Python and then the name of the file, and then if I press enter, you'll see it says enter your name. So if I write my name here and then press enter, you'll see it prints out Sedson down here because I instructed it to print the name after the user inputs their information. All right, so I want you to check this. There's a prompt here, enter your name, and then there's a space because we left a space here. If we did not, then this cursor would be tight here. So you need to remember to leave a space in between. Okay, so let's say I want to enter two inputs. Let's say the other one is the score of some examination score. So I have to again input, enter your exam score. Let's go down here. Okay, the same thing. I want to leave a space here so that when I'm entering information, there's a sort of like space. Okay, so let me not leave space for the second one so that you guys can actually see what happens if you do not leave a space. All right, so I'm gonna print here, print score. You also want to print the score. Control save, and then I'm gonna run this file here. It's already here. If I run it, enter your name, Sedson, and then if I press enter, you'll see enter your score. I want you guys to see the score now. Because we didn't leave a space here, this cursor is tied to this column. Okay, so I'm going to enter my score. I can enter 90, press enter. As you can see, it sets on 90 because up here I instructed Python to print the name and print the score, just like that. Okay, let me clear this. I'm going to move on to the next step. We're still looking at the input function, how we can use it. Let's assume I want to put these two in one line, okay? So I want two inputs here using one input statement, okay? So I want to input two things in one input statement. So I have to do away with this line, and the way you do it in Python, you have to put this score in one line, same line but separate with a comma because these are two different variables, and then up here you just put a dot split. There's a function in Python which is called split function. Okay, what it does, it splits, whatever you want to split. So right now I can use it. Okay, so now I can say enter your name and score. Now I don't have to write two input statements. I can use just one input statement, but getting two values. Okay, so Control S. If I'm to run this in this enter your name and score. So now I can write stats, and then remember to put a space. You have to put a space, 90, and then press enter. As you can see, guys, it's working. The same thing like I did. Let's assume we didn't put a space. Let's say enter and then enter a stats, and 90 is definitely this going to give me an error. Boom, it says not enough values to unpack. So you definitely need to put in a space. If for some reasons you want to put a comma, you can put quotation marks inside the split, put a comma here, and so when you call this function now, when you run your file, let me run it. So now I can pass in stats comma 90, just like that, and then press enter. You see it's working, as you guys can see, because I specified that I want these to be separated by a comma. But if I do not specify, it simply means the default is going to be a space between the the inputs. Okay, that's it for these. But now let's say I want to deal with numbers. So let's say this is my first score. So first, and this is my second score. So I'm going to call it first and second. Okay, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to call this first and second. And so let's say perhaps I want to add these two. Is it possible to add these two? Is it possible to typecast, like to put an int here? Because obviously you want to convert these into an integer value, because numbers should always be integers or floats. So let's say first print first plus second. Just like that. Control S. And now we want to run this and see if it works. We want to see if it works. Enter your name and score. Your first is supposed to be your first and second. Okay, let's say 20 and 20. If I press enter, as you guys can see, int invalid literal for int with base 10, 20, and 20. You cannot do that. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this issue and deal with it. So you don't necessarily have to typecast here, because what you're getting is a list that you're getting here. So if for some reasons you want to add the first and the second, so you have to separately to convert them into integers. Enter your first and second here. I'm supposed to say your first and second. Let me typecast inside here when I print int first plus int second, just like that. Let's see if it's gonna work. Not here. Okay, all right, let's go back and try and run this. Enter first and second, 10, 12, and 12. Let's see. As you guys can see, now it's working. We separately extracted the values and then we converted them into integers. So this is going to work. This method is going to work, as you guys can see. So first we got our first and second number. We split them with a space. If we want to split them with a comma, we can come here and then put a comma here. And again, let me save this. And then again, we can run this. First and second, let's say 90, comma 80, and then if I run this, you will see I have a 170 here. So it's actually working. So this is how you can actually have two inputs on one line. Okay, you can have more inputs on one line. I can add another third input here. So enter your first, second, and third. First, second, and third. Just like that. Control S, come down here, clear this. We'll clear the screen and then run this. Enter your first, second, and third. So I can enter 90, 80, 90, and then run this. I'm still getting 170 because I'm adding the first and the second, but I can still add the third. Okay, so I can add here int third. Control S, save this, run it one more time, look at it. Enter your first, second, and third, 90, 80, and 90. Boom, I have my 260 down here. Okay, so this is how you actually work with the input function.